Okay. I'm doing a video on my scientific beliefs because I'm really bored. So, it's bad. So, I know that. Don't comment on that. But, okay, let's start with something really relatively simple, like the Big Bang Theory. I'm not talking about the show. I mean, I love the show, don't get me wrong, but seriously. Let's be just serious for a minute. Okay, so, um, It, now, don't get me wrong, I am a Christian. I mean, I know that there will be so many Christians commenting on this that, I mean, wow. But, I mean, think of it, I mean, yeah, you all probably don't believe the Big Bang Theory, but think of it this way. The it was proposed by a priest, so can't really flame me about the atheism. Atheism? I don't know. But, so there's some people I've heard say that everything was just there. And if you're one of these people, then you might want to keep watching. And if you're not, you still want to keep watching, won't you? I hope you do. But, I mean, every effect has to have a cause in some way. What would be the cause for everything just being there? I mean, now the Big Bang Theory. I mean, I know what you're thinking. You're like, what's the cause for the Big Bang Theory? Yeah. Okay. You probably didn't do that thing I just did, but anyway. I mean, there is cause. I mean, it was all, think of it like it's all compacted. And eventually it's just going to get too much and explode. Well, that might be too, okay, let's explain it like this. It's, if you have a balloon and you blow it up and too much, it's going to explode. And that's kind of what happened. Just without the balloon. And, okay, replace the balloon with a singularity. And there you go. And okay, and oh, not to mention Edwin Hubble. If you don't know who he is, look it up. But he discovered that not only is everything moving away from from everything else, like galaxies and stuff, but it's all taken the same amount of time to get to where it is, and it's all moving away from a single point. So, if that's not evidence, then I don't know what is. Okay, moving on, I'm just gonna skip evolution because I'm not the kind of person who knows much about that. I'm just gonna move on to something not far from evolution, which is natural selection. Yay! Uh, we all know this. I mean, everyone knows this, and it's proven to be true. Um, everything is like, every, okay, think of it like when Darwin discovered those birds on the island. Um, they had beaks. They all looked relatively, you know, they all looked relatively similar, but their beaks were quite different. They had, like, depending on what island they lived on, they they had different beaks. With ones with insects, they had longer beaks, which were, perfect for picking up bugs. Built, you can get it from there. So, which means not exactly that they would pass down. Not exactly, doesn't exactly mean that. Like, some people think that, you know, like a bird, like with a really long beak is going to have an offspring, which will also have a really long beak, and that's not true. Like, think of it like if a bodybuilder and another bodybuilder um, have a child, then it's not going to be extremely muscular from the start, will it? No. It's more like if, say that there's an island with lots of bugs on it, and there's one bird has a long beak, which is perfect for collecting bugs, and one has a short beak that's more for berries and etc. The one with the longer beak is going to thrive. Well, let's move back a bit. The goal in an animal's life is pretty much to just produce offspring. So a bird with a beak that's more, you know, a bird that's more. I have no idea what the word for this is. Okay, back to this is gonna take long to explain. Say the bird with the long beak is on the island with a bunch of insects, and then there's the bird with the short beak. Which one, I mean, it's pretty obvious which one would thrive longer. One with a short beak be, it wouldn't be able to collect food for, so it wouldn't live long enough to, produce offspring in the first place. Which means the birds with the disadvantages would probably die out. Now the ones with the advantages, that's a different story. They would thrive long enough to produce offspring, which their offspring would produce offspring, and so eventually the majority of those birds would all have the advantage. Now, since I'm done boring you with this, leave me comments down below, discuss, and thanks for watching.